What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and we have got a lot of news to cover for you today with bills passing and a lot of new information coming out on stimulus checks. And this is your stimulus update. Now, first up, you guys, take a look at this. Yesterday, House passes a short-term government funding bill that would prevent a shutdown, and then they're going to be sending this on to the Senate. So this just took place yesterday, trying to avoid a government shutdown, but again, they're kicking the can down the road, as this is not for the entire year. This is just going to be giving us another month. Now, I've got some video footage for you. I'm going to be sharing with you, getting you caught up. And this is great news because we're not shutting down, but they're also not quite fixing the problem yet. Now, in addition to that, the last of the third $1,400 stimulus checks will get distributed to eligible parents this tax season. So there are still third stimulus checks going out. I get people asking me about it all the time. Where's my third stimulus check? Is it even real? Yes, it is. But unfortunately, yes, the IRS, they've been taking quite some time to get those out. So the last of them should be on their way here shortly, hopefully. And also, another bill was passed in the House as the House passes a bill to reform the Postal Service operations. So I'm going to share with you details on that was passed as well. And again, I apologize. We're having some work done on the bathroom. So if you hear some background noise, just bear with me. Now, in addition to that, a fourth $2,000 stimulus check petition hits 3 million signatures, and that's that one we've been following at change.org. But you guys, I'm going to get you caught up on the latest because the rumor mill has been floating around that these were passed and are going out, and that is not the case. Just want to make sure that everybody knows that a fourth stimulus check has not been passed. As you know, here on the channel, I cite all my sources. I read directly from the articles so that way you know you're getting accurate, updated information. So with that being said, you guys, I'm going to get you caught up on the latest. And also, if you missed my video yesterday, you might want to check it out as I gave an update on 4 new states, cities, and counties that are going to be giving out residents stimulus checks. Surprise $1,000 stimulus checks in one case, and I cover all the details. So if you missed that one, check it out right after this video as well. Now also, more content is going to be coming on the second channel, Steve Ram Finance, for those of you interested in growing wealth and personal finance. I'll pin a comment down below if you're interested. You can click that link, go subscribe, turn on notifications. Going to have these 2 channels going on to help people with economic news and another one for financial growth and education. But you guys, let's go ahead and dive right in, get you caught up on the latest, and let's start off by smashing the like button. That simple gesture just takes a second, really helps out my channel a ton. If you appreciate the updates, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments, share this out. If this is your first time here and you'd like to stay up to date, totally free to do so. All you got to do is hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. And if you got any specific questions for me, I'm easy to get a hold of. Join me on Instagram. Shoot me a DM at SteveRam3. Best way to get a hold of me directly, as here on YouTube, we get those scammers that try to pose as me. Unfortunately, they take a picture of my face, they claim they're Steve Ram, and they say, contact me on WhatsApp. And you guys, that is not me, okay? I don't ask for your personal information. I don't ask for you to wire me money, and I don't have a WhatsApp. So contact me on Instagram. But with that being said, you guys, let's dive right in, and let's start off with video footage of Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi yesterday passing that stopgap funding bill.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I thank the Madam Chair for recognition, and thank you for your strong leadership in bringing the CR to the floor. But also for your relentless work in negotiating the omnibus, what this is all about. Madam Speaker, I rise today in support of the continuing resolution that will keep government open, meet the needs of the American people, and honor the values of our nation. This short-time measure will ensure that we have the time we need to finalize negotiations on a strong, bipartisan omnibus to fund the government through the end of the year. As I commend the gracious Madam Chair, Rosa DeLauro, Chair of the Appropriations Committee, I want to also commend Ranking Member Granger for her leadership as well. This legislation extends government funding at current levels through March 11th. To be clear, this bill keeps government open while making virtually no changes to existing funding policy. The CR does, however, include urgently needed emergency funding to help clean up contaminated drinking water in Hawaii leaking from Red Hill bulk fuel storage facility. In doing so, we deliver a crucial down payment to help the Navy meet immediate needs and keeps families safe. But in order to advance our priorities for our country, Madam Speaker, and our communities in the long term, Congress must enact an omnibus funding package. For families, a new full-year spending package means strengthening public schools, protecting clean air and clean water, improving public health, and ensuring food and consumer safety. For workers, it means creating new jobs and supporting small businesses. For our veterans, it means funding for benefits, reducing backlogs for veterans and their families seeking assistance, and meeting the needs of the VA's healthcare system. For our national security, it means support for our troops, improvements to defense readiness and modernization, the securing of our cyber infrastructure, and stronger leadership abroad. And now that President Biden has proudly signed our bipartisan infrastructure bill, it is essential that we enact an omnibus in order to unlock billions in more federal dollars for infrastructure projects. While they were in the infrastructure bill, the money cannot be spent unless we pass the omnibus. So it'll help us rebuild our nation while reinvigorating our middle class, creating millions of good-paying jobs, improving roads and bridges, ports and airports, water systems, broadband, special rural broadband, and more. As the preamble to our Constitution states, it is our duty as lawmakers to establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty for ourselves and our posterity. Today, we uphold this sacred responsibility in the short term with this continuing resolution and with our omnibus legislation, which we hope to bring to the floor soon. We will take an important step to honor that vision of our founders. With that, I urge a strong bipartisan aye vote, and I yield back the balance of my time.
So there you have it, you guys. That was Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi in the House yesterday. Now, link in the description below to this article that came out that says House passes a short-term government funding bill that will prevent a shutdown and sends it on to the Senate. And as you know here on the channel, that legislation in Congress, it has to go through the House, the Senate, and then be signed into law by the president. So we have not completed this yet, but it is going to be going on to the Senate. The House portion has been completed. And it says that the House on Tuesday passed a funding bill that would prevent a government shutdown later this month, sending the measure to the Senate. Congress faces a February 18th deadline to avoid a lapse in federal funding, so they got to get it done by the 18th. The bill approved by the House would keep the government running at the current levels through March 11th, so they're kicking the can down the road about a month or so. Now, it passed yesterday by a 272 to 162 margin. Now, earlier Tuesday, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer in the Senate, he said that they have plans to vote on the spending, and he said quickly and in time for the February 18th deadline. So they're hoping to get that done here before we reach the end of the funding. Now, let's talk about third stimulus checks. And it says the last of the $1,400 stimulus checks will get distributed to eligible parents this tax season. And yes, these are still going out. And if you had babies or had missed payments, you're going to have to claim them on your taxes right now. And it says that the IRS hasn't finished sending out a third round of stimulus checks, which is going to be $1,400 to eligible parents and guardians of newborns in the 2021 tax season. Now, I cover in detail what you need to do, what forms you need to have on hand, where you need to go to file your taxes. And I'm glad that that helped out a lot of people. I actually had tax preparers thank me on DMs on Instagram saying that they didn't know about that and that they were getting caught up on it and they appreciated the content. I shot them links to all the articles and got them updates for it so that way they could help out their clients. And it says also that as parents fill out their 2021 tax returns, they need to get that letter 6475 form for the IRS. And again, that is the form that you need for stimulus check payments that are missed or the information needed for filing your taxes this tax season. Now, how many $1,400 stimulus checks are outstanding? I get a lot of people asking me if it's even real because they haven't gotten that third check. And it's hard to say, but it should be somewhere in the millions. We're hearing millions of people still are missing checks. Now, in 2020, there were around 3.61 million U.S. births. We still don't know the total for 2021, however. So in addition to ones that are still delayed and missing, we also had about 3 million new children born that need stimulus checks as well. So hopefully soon here, you're going to be able to claim it on your taxes and get those third stimulus checks. Now, the House of Representatives has been very busy because in addition to passing that stopgap funding bill, we also heard that, take a look at this, the House passed a bill to reform Postal Service operations as well. The House on Tuesday passed a bipartisan legislation that would make long-sought financial and operational reforms to the U.S. Postal Service, which has struggled with pandemic-induced mail delivery delays. Lawmakers passed a bill 342 to 92, with 120 Republicans joining all Democrats in support. So this had a lot of bipartisan support. Republicans and Democrats supported this legislation. A bipartisan agreement to overhaul the Postal Service had long eluded lawmakers until last year, when the House Oversight and Reform Committee Chairwoman Carolyn Maloney and the panel's top Republican, James Comer, unveiled the proposal of the House bill passed Tuesday. Today's historic bipartisan vote brings us one step closer to finally putting the Postal Service on a sound financial footing so it can continue serving all Americans for years to come. Now, the Postal Service has operated at a net annual loss for more than a decade, and it's currently projected to run out of funds for its operations by 2024. Its increasingly worsened financial viability was largely due to the declining mail volume and the cost of employee compensation and unfolding of liabilities and debt. So, sounds like they're finally going to get some legislation to get them back on track. Some good news for the Postal Service. Now, let's talk fourth stimulus checks. Now, as you know, Change.org, that petition I've been keeping you up to date on, it has over 3 million signatures now. So about 1% of the nation's population is in support of not only a fourth $2,000 stimulus check, but monthly reoccurring checks. Well, you guys, take a look at this. News articles coming out saying $2,000 stimulus checks. Petition hits 3 million signatures. This was last month. A lot of people calling for that fourth check. We've heard there's leftover funds that could provide a fourth and a fifth. But as it stands right now, Congress has not brought up any legislation or any additional bills to have a fourth check yet. Now, if that changes, I'll let you know. We've heard additional stimulus calls for fighting the pandemic, for businesses, but nothing yet for direct payments to people. And also, the rumor mill was floating around. Take a look at this, you guys. Fact check. Were more stimulus checks due January 19th? And it says that there was a Facebook post saying that $2,000 stimulus checks were due on January 19th. That is false. So you guys, those claims are false. Here on the channel, I'll keep you up to date on what's actually taking place and whether there is or is not a fourth check, a fifth check, monthly reoccurring checks. I will let you know here on the channel and make sure that you're up to date. Now, also though, we still have a lot of funding left over for states, counties, and cities. And we're getting word of UBI programs popping up, monthly checks. I will let you know what's happening. A lot of these also have limited windows of where you can apply to get these provisions if you're a member of that city, that county, or that state. So make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, and I'll let you know what's available to you. So you guys, that is the latest going on with Stimulus Congress. And again, I apologize for all the noise in the background, getting that bathroom remodel done. Thank you for bearing with me. And if you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, take a quick second to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm if you appreciate the updates, keeping you up to speed on everything going on. Also, totally free to stay up to date. Just hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. Consider joining the second channel. Going to get some traction on that with more content, helping out people learning about growing wealth and personal finance. And if you got any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. But with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. I will catch you in the next video. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.